The Italian game is the goat of chess openings. It's perfect for beginners, but also strong enough to be a great weapon at all levels, even for top grandmasters. I played 4 games against opponents of increasing ratings to show you all the plans, all the tactics that make this opening so powerful. 2 of the games actually end pretty quickly, and bonus, I accidentally found the refutation to one of the most popular YouTube opening traps out there. Let's go. E4, E5, now we go with the knight out attacking a pawn, and if they defend in the most natural way, now we are in the starting position of the Italian game. What is the idea of this opening? We are following the opening principles in the most straightforward way possible. Control the center, develop the pieces, and castle. Now, in order to complete fully the development, we still need to develop those 2 minor pieces and then to bring the queen and the rooks to the game. What my opponent is doing is bad because they are disregarding 2 principles. First of all, do not move the same piece twice in the opening. Knight here, knight there, not too good. Second, develop in the strongest square possible. And this knight is on the side of the board. Why is the knight on the side of the board bad? Because here the knight is just controlling 1, 2, 3, 4 square. A knight in the center, for example, this knight can go to 8 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can count until 8. Now we have a precise problem, which is that the knight is attacking this bishop. That's why this move is not super terrible, because now I still need to move my bishop a second time. Where do we go? Oh, actually, should we really move the bishop? Because this is a free cheese macaroni. This is very interesting, because if we take this pawn, if they take here, we take back with the knight. That's a trade of minor pieces. We won a pawn. But after knight here, they have a very simple move, d6. And then this knight and this bishop are both under attack. And we can't take on f7 because this knight is defending. I'm suspecting that this is actually an opening trap that my opponent wanted to arrange. But we are simply moving our bishop forward, pinning this pawn. Now usually the move to play here is c6, but now the knight can no longer go back. Okay. Very good, they played c6 and b5, so now at least they can trade this knight. I take back. Always take with the pawn towards the center, because also here, as the knight, the pawn here is controlling just 1 square. Instead, every pawn is usually looking at 2 squares. This move is decent, but not really my favorite. Is giving a square to this knight to control this square over there. I will play d4. Once you develop all your pieces, you should open up the center because your opponent has the king stuck in the middle of the board. So what else should I do in order to complete my development? Knight out and bishop out. What is the best square for this bishop to go? Not here because it's taken, not here because it's taken, so probably e3 is a good square. Also, what we can consider is to snap this knight, and in this case, that's so yummy. Why? Because the move f6 played by them has weakened strongly this diagonal. And this is gonna be super painful for them because now also this pawn is hanging. After the pawn is taken, we take back with the knight, and now the queen is coming. And this could be a checkmate, a very quick checkmate. So attention. Follow the opening principles and see what happens when the opponent is not doing so. Now the queen will sneak. Hell yeah. This is gonna be mate. This is move 13. The king has just 1 square to go. GG's. Quick analysis, to move bishop b7 was a huge blunder, and we saw why. It was needed for black to play the move knight f7. Why? Because now this pawn is attacked 2 times and protected 2 times. How to keep going with white here? You can simply finish your development with very simple moves like bishop e3, knight c3, queen up, bring the rook to the open files. This is already an open file. And I want to show you a sneaky possibility. After bishop here, we are setting up a threat. If they simply develop this bishop somewhere to then castle, now we can take a pawn. And once they take back, goodbye, amigos, because this pawn is attacked by the rook and by the bishop. So this would be almost +1 for white. Second game, we go for the Italian game one more time. Knight here attacking the pawn, they protect it, and bishop c4. This is the starting position. Now the main moves are two. Knight here and bishop c5. In both cases, you can simply play for the move castle, knight here, and develop all your pieces in the simplest way possible. And now, if I can, I will show you a very sneaky plan that I loved to play when I was a kid. This move should be a mistake. Attention! Black is playing very ambitious, trying to go for the center, try to trade my central pawn for their central pawn. But this comes to a price, because their king is still in the middle of the board. So I will try to exploit that. My rook wants to join the e file, attacking this pawn a second time. And I think we will do this immediately. Now they already have a problem to defend this pawn. If they do it with the f6 pawn, then this diagonal is at risk. Bishop f6. This move is also probably not exactly right. You're moving the same piece twice. And now the rook is winking at the king, literally. And I think I can play the move d4 because of this. Because the pawn cannot take. The pawn is pinned. And I'm going to take next. And this pawn is right now 1, 2, 3 attackers and just 2 defenders. So they need to do something about the pawn. And if they do something about the pawn, they might forget that this knight is also in danger. Because once I take, this knight is gonna be attacked 2 times and protected just once by the queen. So, okay, they just castled, ignoring everything, but now I think they're just collapsing. Because here, by taking, I'm attacking the bishop and this knight is also hanging. So we had to move 9. And this position is already out of control for them. Bishop there. I really don't like this move. The bishop is attacking this pawn, which is not really a threat, and is protected just by the queen. So I will just take a free cheese macaroni there on d5, winning a piece. And even when you have extra material, don't forget, you have to bring out all your pieces. There is one advice that is valid in almost any position: play with all your pieces, play with all of them. And how do you achieve that? Well, usually you achieve that by developing every single piece one at a time, not to move the same piece twice, except when you can win even more material. Now I'm trading the queens, because if they take with the rook, they are forgetting about the bishop. I thought so. And so now we have 2 extra pieces. And what I need to do is to still bring out this knight, this bishop, because if I don't, I'm not able to win this game. The game is just not winning by itself. I can't take this pawn because the rook behind would be hanging, so I'm just developing the bishop plus protecting the pawn at the same time. Maybe this was a mistake because I'm allowing this fork. That was a mistake, by the way. But my opponent didn't really see it. Now I'm taking this pawn because this move is no longer possible, because now the pawn has no defense since I can take. If they trade, I'm happy to trade. Once you have extra material, you can have 2 strategies to win the game. Or maybe you can use both of them. Trade when possible, and if not, try to improve every single piece, get to the king, checkmate them. So now my knight is upgraded. I will probably soon bring the rook to the 2nd rank. There is a pawn under attack, so I defend it. Always look for the threat of your opponent. You don't want to miss that out, even when you are winning, even when you have lots of advantage. Now again, they are attacking this bishop. I will take this other pawn. They're moving the king away, which is a smart idea. I will play the move h3. You might say, like, what is the idea? Well, there is just one danger for me, is to get back rank checkmate. So if a rook is coming here, for example, there is no rook anymore, and the king has no square to go. Now with the move h3, the king has got another square plus. Okay, now I give this fork, winning also the rook. Plus, I wanted to play the move g4 to consolidate my knight and try to set up a checkmate net around the king. GG's. The game was abandoned. But I want to show you the checkmate. In this position, we could play a rook here. Let's put the evaluation bar. And after king there, I play g4. If they don't do anything about it, here they have to massively sacrifice material. If they play any move, I don't know. This is just checkmate. New game. We have the Italian game one more time. Ooh. I'm reading on chess.com that this is the Blackburn Schilling Gambit. This gambit is leaving a pawn hanging. I know what's the idea. They want to go with queen g4. g5, sorry. Attacking this pawn and counter-attacking the knight. And it's very dangerous to allow this. So I will simply do something very cheeky. I'll castle my king and take the pawn at the next move, if they allow me. Now I have such a good position because I'm the only one that has development as pieces out, and I can go with the move d4, which comes with a very big threat. Boom! Taking the pawn is a huge blunder because now I can just push the pawn. I'm attacking the knight. The knight cannot move because it's checkmate. Attention at opening traps. We are at move 7, and I think I will have an extra piece. Okay, there is a free rook, which we could take, but we don't do it just yet because I want to take first this knight. And if they don't take back, ooh, I'm giving a check. This king is crying big tears because now I'm taking here and the king is blocking their own queen that cannot move anywhere. So they have to sacrifice the queen. Now I'm taking very aptly that queen and then taking also the rook. And I can just clean up the board, I guess, at this point. No, what I will try to do is to execute a checkmate as quickly as possible. So let's go back with the queen. Let's give a check, and then we win. We want to bring out even more the rest of the pieces. Let's bring this bishop here. Now this is also a sneaky idea because the most inviting move is a mistake. If I move the queen, I get mated. But now I can take here, the king has to take, and I can take back this rook. Only thing left for me is to activate this rook to help give checkmate. So the rook is joining the game. And now we need to end it. We give a check with the queen. We give a check with the queen. And then we slide the rook up for the staircase, the most famous way to checkmate in chess. The king has to move, and now we will go down. My opponent is asking a draw, but I guess I will refuse it. And GG's. I shortly checked the game review, and this game was 95% accuracy for me, and I accidentally found the refutation to this gambit. So attention, I have tricky gambits. Final game, higher rating, almost 1500 elo. We have the Italian game. Oh, we have another gambit. It's called, according to chess.com, Verso Gambit. What might be the idea? Well, if we take, they want to play the move d5, attacking the bishop one more time. I have to be honest, and I have never seen this move in my life, and I think I can play a very simple defense, d3. And the problem is that this move has just a too big downside, because the king will not be able to castle short, because this square is controlled by the bishop. So probably I should at some point play the move a4. Okay, they are taking, I take back. Why the move a4? Because I want to make sure to give a square for my bishop to hide if it's attacked by the knight. Now, attacking it with the knight can run into very nasty tactics. Also, maybe this pawn can be taken, or maybe I can simply take here and then take the pawn. So, ooh. Am I not winning with queen d5? Attacking the bishop and threatening checkmate? I don't know. I don't see a defense. And if you also don't, please subscribe. And I will go for it. Queen d5, attacking the bishop, attacking the f7 square. And I think we're gonna win in like 8 moves, 9 moves. That's awesome. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Okay. That's embarrassing, to be honest. Okay, so we are not gonna win in 9 moves. Nah. But we still try to go for something very powerful. So bishop here, we are developing, plus attacking the queen. They have to go with the knight out. Now they're attacking, counter-attacking the queen. But I will take this knight. They have to take with the pawn. If not, the queen is not protecting this bishop anymore. And then I want to try to sneak my knight. What? Excuse me? Okay, we can take the bishop. Be happy. Extra piece. Now the knight is also sliding on d5, attacking the queen, attacking this pawn, which is a fork, by the way. And still the king cannot castle. That's why the move f5 was bad. Now we go back with the queen. The knight is coming forward at the next move, no matter what they play. I'm kidding. Because if we do that, either they can trade or they can take here. So we will go on castle first, protecting this pawn, ready to kick this knight backwards, and then we will go forward with the knight. I really don't like this move. You cannot open up the center when your king is in the middle of the board. Now the idea might be that they want to castle, so because this pawn is blocking the bishop for 1 round. But this come to just a too high price. Because after this, I can give a discovery check, then take this pawn, then maybe take even this pawn. And this is, again, not a fun position for them. Okay, they are attacking my bishop. I will just move it 1 square back. Very good. So all the threats are still there. And now also this knight is... Well, the knight was already a little bit a danger. For example, if the king at some point... Now the king might have to just... needs to castle or to move away. Because if not, there are discovery checks. Yes. So the king has been moved. And now we simply play the move a3. This knight has no squares to go. Cannot go here. Cannot take because we are controlling that squares 3 times. Just protected 2 times. They are going for that anyway. I understand. At least they get a pawn for the knight. But now the advantage is just massive, too big. They could try to play rook here to attack this knight that cannot be moved because the queen behind would be hanging. But I have a very simple way to defend it one more time with a beautiful pawn. All right, they go with the other rook, but doesn't matter. I'll go with the pawn here, protecting the knight. And now I'm ready. All right, I will protect the pawn with the pawn that is protecting the knight. So if they take, I take back with the pawn. Very good. And now I am ready to go. Threatening checkmate in 1 move. Because the knight is controlling the only escape square for the king to go. If they take, is mate. So if they want to survive a little bit longer, they need to sacrifice the rook for my knight. Or to try to run with the king like this. In that case, though, the price to pay is still very high. I give a check, the king has to move. I take this pawn, the king has to move only square, and now royal fork. The king has to go up or just resign. GG's. Quick analysis. I can confirm this gambit is bad. The only thing you don't have to do is to take, because they will go on with the move e4, followed by the move d5. What I played is great. It's a simple way to have a solid, nice advantage. If you want to crush this gambit, this is the right move. d4, the strongest move. And the idea is that after pawn takes, we take here with the knight. And now there is a big threat. We are threatening queen h5 check. Because after g6, there is the typical tactic of taking that pawn with the knight. but d3 was very good, and there is one tactic that I missed. Instead of the move queen d5 here, which was a mistake, I can trade here first, after rook take, now queen d5, attacking the bishop and attacking the rook, and here there is really no way to defend. So we would have been winning in 8 moves. If you enjoyed this video, you should check out this one, the Sicilian defense. Another opening that I fully love is for the black pieces, and it's great, especially for beginners and intermediate players, because white players never know how to handle it. So check it out, enjoy, thank you for watching, ciao!